day. Just sitting here in the car waiting for Sarah to get done with robotics. So popping on. So here waiting in the car. Have not even gotten home yet. And what time is it? It's almost 6 o'clock here in San Antonio. And I leave for the airport at 5 in the morning. That's about 11 hours from now. And I'm not even home. And I haven't packed a thing. I'm going to Jacksonville for 3 days, so just for the weekend, and I have not even begun to start packing. But I do a lot of traveling, especially a lot of these little trips, so I'm a little bit used to it, and I kind of know how I want to, pack things, so I tend to wait until the night before. Hi, Rebecca. So here's a few things I was thinking about as I'm thinking my plan, what I'm going to do when I get home. To get this packing done pretty quick. So these are the 3 things that I always do on these short trips when I pack the night before, to make it really easy and simple, and so that I don't feel stressed out that I'm forgetting something, right? So my first tip is to lay everything out. Don't pack things in your bag as you go, because what's going to happen is you're going to, especially if you're really stressed, and you're trying to pack in a rush, if you're packing things as you go, you're going to forget what you've already packed. I guarantee it. So if you lay everything out, like if you, make your bed, which is nice to do before you go on a trip anyway, make your bed and kind of lay everything out as you go. That way you can see what all you have and do that first and then pack it. It will make things go so much faster. So that way, like, oh, did I do this? You can see it right in front of you and you'll know if you already have it. So that'll save you a ton in back and forth time, because I can't tell you how many times before I figured this out, I would go and be like, oh, did I pack my toothbrush, or did I pack my contact lens solution? And I'd have to unpack my toiletry bag, look for it. Okay, it's there, or no, it's not. Run and go get it. Go and put it back. You'll just save yourself a lot of back and forth if you lay everything out before you pack it and make sure you have everything you need. Hi, Rebecca. Oh, yes, I'll tell Sarah hi for you. My second packing trip for when you absolutely have no time and you're packing last minute is to pack or gather everything in groups. So this will save you a lot of back and forth time too. If you're going, okay, I'm going to go pack my toothbrush, and you get a toiletry, and then you go, okay, now I need to get my outfit for the first day, and then you go and you do something else. So I recommend kind of getting your items together in groups. And the order I do it in is I get all my gear together, then my toiletries, then my clothing, then my shoes, and then my accessories. And I always do it in that order. And there's a reason why I do that. So a lot of people do the opposite. And when I say gear, I'm talking about things like, your computer, your laptop, your iPad, your earbuds, your suitcase, your bag that you're putting stuff in. Everything that you would get extra that is not toiletries, clothing, shoes, or accessories would fall into that gear category, like all your traveling stuff, right? That you really wouldn't use. And I don't want to say all this is always the case, but for the most part, things you are only using for traveling, okay? That's what I would consider travel gear. So a lot of people get that together last. And the reason why I don't do that is, especially if you are short on time, picking your gear out first and packing with the gear that you have in mind will keep you from overpacking, especially when it comes to your suitcase, your luggage, your bag that you're going to use. If you choose the bag that you want to take, or bags, multiple bags, that you want to take first, you will pack to fit that bag. As opposed to the opposite, if you pick out all the stuff that you want to take with you, you're going to have way too much stuff and you're going to have to pick a much larger bag or more bags than you would have if you would have done it the opposite way. So I always have a bag in mind. And in fact, there's a bag I always use for trips that are 4 days and under. Like, I already know which size bag. So I pack to fit that bag. there's that bag, and then I usually take a laptop bag or another tote with it. So those will be my 2 bags. In that way, you know, if I had gathered all my stuff, I'll get too many pairs of shoes or whatever. And it's like, well, there's no way I'm going to fit that in that bag. I have to have a bigger bag. So if you already know kind of what gear you have planned, that will kind of lay out how much you're going to be packing. And of course, you'll do that depending on how many days you're traveling. Like I said, for a pretty quick trip, it'll be like a small bag in a tote or a laptop bag or, you know, a large purse or something like that. It's usually plenty for 3 days. I stretch it out to 4, but that's because I'm a very efficient packer. So that takes a little bit of practice to get it down to that, to get more days out of a smaller bag. But definitely do that first, and you will notice. So this is really great, especially if you're an overpacker. Pick out your bags first and then pack to fill those bags, and you will do so much less. And my third tip that kind of goes into that is less is more. People pack way more items than they really need. And people's like, well, I'd rather have more than not have enough. But you're not going to use 80% of that stuff, and it takes time to pack all that stuff. So if you don't have the time, then focus on the things you actually need and not the items that there is no way you're ever going to use, right? And then you can pare it down even more. So especially if you're going on a short trip, do you think you can live a day, you know, 1 or 2 showers without using your favorite shampoo? You think you can live with using the hotel shampoo? I can. And I use pretty fancy shampoo. But you're not going to die shampooing your hair with the hotel shampoo one day, right? But think of how much time that saves you not having to buy travel size items, or if you had the little bottles, not having to transfer, you know, your shampoo and stuff over to those little bottles. That saves you so much time just not packing it. If there's toiletries, you know, you can get from the hotel, like shampoo, conditioner, soap, you know, you don't need to pack your body wash. All that not only saves room, but it saves you time packing. So definitely cut that stuff out where you can. And then also, you know, when you're packing in your groups, the reason why I have toiletries, then clothing, then shoes, then accessories is because that kind of will help you pare down how much you have. So toiletries, like I said, really go through and make sure it's stuff that you cannot live without. It's really specialty items that you're not going to get from the hotel, that you're, you know, try to get the travel size or whatnot. Really get those toiletries down. I usually get my toiletries down so I can fit it in the small TSA approved bag. I mean, that's how much I get it down so that I don't have to have a whole separate bag for toiletries, right? And then clothing, you don't have to have a complete separate outfit for every single day, okay? And I love, you know, accessorizing and all that, but I'm just telling you, you don't. Pick out, and that will force you, you know, get clothes that are similar color, you know, families. Your goal here is that you can, if you get groups of clothing that have the same color families or the same style or whatnot, you can reuse accessories and you can use the same shoes. So my goal is always 1 pair of shoes, and I love shoes. Oh, I have so many shoes. 1 pair of shoes for every 2 days of my trip, no more than 3. And for us women that love shoes, that is really, really hard. Okay? But if you force yourself to pick outfits that don't require specific shoes for each outfit, you can do it. Trust me. And it seems like that would be more work or take more time, but it will overall take you less time because you're picking out less accessories, you're picking out fewer shoes, you're spending less time trying to fill all of that stuff into your bags, okay? So pick out clothing that you can use the fewest number of shoes and accessories possible. For accessories, again, you know, I like fashion jewelry. I like statement earrings. 1 pair of earrings I'll take on a trip. I'm making sure to get pick out outfits that I need the fewest amount of accessories, and I like accessories, but the fewest amount possible that I don't have to switch. I don't have to have a complete different set of accessories for every single day of my trip, right? And so I may not be as blingy as I normally would on a trip. But if anything, I might have one blingy item, but then everything else is pretty subdued. So again, lay it all out. See everything you have before you pack. Pack in groups. Get your gear out first and pack to your bag. Don't pick your bag to what you're packing. That will force you not to overpack. Less is more. I actually am overdue and I need to go get Sarah from robotics, so I'm going to jump off. But if you guys also want to know my top items that I always travel with, my travel gear, including a link to my all-time favoriteest travel bag that I use all the time for these short trips. It allows me to not have to check a bag ever. If you want that information, hit me up on Instant Messenger and I'll check that here a little bit. Like I said, I have to pick up Sarah from robotics and I'll check that out. But definitely hit me up if you want those extra tips, kind of the gear that I use, and it will really help you out in trimming down that time. But love you guys. Gotta go. Bye.